Hi, this is your Jokers on duty. This is the Gypsy Rover, and we're here on the search for ghosts. And I think I can. And the two twin headless headhunters are still getting close to the cabin. Stay tuned. Let you know this is our Halloween countdown too. Atreyu, where'd you go, bud? Atreyu? Oh no, somebody's gone. Atreyu, where'd you go? Oh no, what's that over there? Whoa, something jumping out of that area too. Come on, buddy, I ain't playing, man. Where are ya? Atreyu? Uh-oh, something's in the cabin. Something's coming in. I don't know. They're getting closer. They're getting closer. They're getting closer. I don't know, you better... Where'd you go, Atreyu, buddy? I don't know, I can't find you. I don't know, this cabin, I'm telling you, is really haunted, man. Oh no, I just heard something in the living room. Okay, where are you? Where are you? Who's there? I guess they're not speaking. Fireplace is still burning. Hope we don't lose our heads here. Well, the hoof prints are still going. I don't know, they might make it before Halloween. I hear them coming down the road. Trey, you better check the window, bud. Better go check the window. Put your head out the window. Gotta be brave. You're a warrior. We're counting on you, buddy. I'm telling you, this cabin's getting spookier. Wakes up every night. I don't know if they're gonna come into the cabin. They're getting closer and closer. Telling you, they're coming down that road. Maybe they'll make it right on Halloween night. Maybe they will make it before. Maybe we won't get to that party. Oh, the sounds are getting louder. Trey, you better start checking out the window, bud. I think I hear one of them talking too. No, not yet. They're on the Hunter Cabin Trail. They're on that Hunter Cabin Trail, dusty road. I can hear them coming through the woods. Better go, Trey, you better go check for that motorboat, bud. Peek out the window, see if you can see over the bay. I'll get you. Whoa! What was that? Did you hear that, Atreyu? Did you hear that, buddy? I heard something. I heard a voice. I'll get you, too. Whoa. That's it. Atreyu, where'd you go, bud? Better lock the doors. Gypsy Rover, where are you? Uh-oh. Man, that thing knows me by name. Tell you, I should not have ticked them off when I was a camper. What are you guys looking for? I hear you coming through the woods, but I don't see you guys yet. But I can hear yous. Where's our head? Whoa! I don't think I keep anything like that, man. I heard there was two of you. I don't think this party here was such a good idea for Halloween night. I think we gotta move to another location. Out of our cabin. Whoa! Whoa. That's getting a little hostile, guys. Atreyu, buddy, are you hiding, man? I don't know what you hide. Man, you run and hide. I don't know. How long are you guys going to be? Midnight, Halloween night, Tuesday, October 31st. Uh-oh. I'm telling you, they're coming. Those horsemen, they're out. They're on the hunt. Those headless hunter horsemen, Indians, they're on their way in. Is there any other ghosts here too? What trail? The Hunter Cabin Trail dirt road that comes up by the water plantation by Georgian Bay. Uh-oh. Oh no, they're coming. If you need to travel by day, don't travel by night. We will meet up with you and get you. You are partying in our cabin. Uh-oh. Making their way in. Halloween's a coming. So is Devil's Night, and we're halfway there. I don't know. They're coming through. Gypsy, you remember us from Camp Northern Lights? We met up with you in the dark woods. Oh no. How old was I? You were 10 years of age when we seen you, when we banged into you. You went on to our cabin premises. Oh no. You had an overnight with your counselors and with all your campers. I don't think this is sounding good. Definitely don't think this is sounding very good. Remember Halliburton and Bob Cajun? That's where our main cabin is located. We are now taking over the hunter's cabin in Wyerton. Oh shit. Man. Well, we're on alert and we're watching you out for you guys. I may have to call the Ghostbusters. We'll take their heads too. Oh shoot! They're not powerful as we are. Oh no. How close are you guys? We need to know. We're getting closer and closer and closer. Oh no, they're getting closer. Our due time to be there is midnight on Halloween, on Devil's Night. Well, I thought you guys just said you'd be here midnight Halloween. We're trotting at 100 miles an hour. We're coming up through the backwoods, through Blue Water Park. Oh. So far, we can't enter the cabin. We can't enter till Halloween night, till all is asleep. Oh, great. So anybody that's all in this cabin with you, Gypsy, make sure they do not fall asleep because we will get yous. Oh no. They're coming. They're coming. I'm telling you, they're trotting their way in. Halloween countdown starting in. Man, I thought they'd be here. It sounds like they're gonna be here a lot earlier than Halloween. They'll be here to crush that Halloween party, I'll tell you. Are you guys still there? Can you still hear me? Can you still communicate with me? Yes, we hear you. Whoa! Oh shit, there was a real ghost voice in here too. Something's really waking this place up. Man. I've got 2 headless Indians, and then now I've got 2 headless Indian hunters, and now I've got another ghost. Just spoke up. Who else is here? I need to know. Who else is in this room? I just heard you. I'm talking to two ghosts as is, and another ghost just spoke up. This other one's a female. Definitely not my wife, I'll tell you that now. Headless Hunters, is there another ghost with you? Yes. Can you please tell me who it is? Who's another ghost that's entering this cabin right now? As you guys are approaching. The other ghost is the ghost of your deceased mother. Oh crap! Headless Hunters, why do you come for me? My mom died peacefully. No, she died when she passed on. She passed it on with hate and pain. She didn't think you cared for her. You guys did nothing but fought, argued. You did not show the love, peace, and positivity as a child. Oh shit. Oops, sorry. What do you mean by that, Hunters? We've been searching for you since Camp Northern Lights. The first time you heard our story, and we scared you. We made it parents, we revealed ourselves. We tried to snatch you then, but you were too powerful because you were surrounded by nothing but Catholic priests, and we cannot cross a Catholic priest. When I found your cabin, and I spotted your cabin premises, and we had the overnight on your cabin, at your cabin. You guys still haunt that cabin today, don't you? Yes, we do. Why? Because it's in the camper's code. It's also in the counselor's code. That cabinet, Hunter's cabin, is forbidden. Nobody is to camp or to sleep in this cabin. Neither in Bobcaygeon or Wyerton. Well, Hunters, people bought your cabin, and it was rented out. We built these cabins with our own bare hands, and we want them back. So you're saying you always had your native claims on that land, on those lands? Yes, we do. Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. Why come for us? Well, they're not going to answer that question. I don't know. They're not going to answer that question for some reason. Why does my mother haunt me? Because you were a bad boy as a kid. You broke her heart. Oh crap! Oh no! Oh no! I didn't think this was gonna come back out. Oh no! Not really. I didn't leave home because of her. I left home because of the bullying in my neighborhood. So you mean these cabins are not safe for any vacationers or people to live, right? Hunters? Is why you're coming in? Yes. Why would you choose the Wyerton area, Hunters? What did we do to you? A story was told that should have never been told. And why was that story never been told? Because the priest that told you that our story was involved in the old cult. He was not a man of Christ. He was not a man of God. Like he proclaimed to be. He believed in scaring children. Hunters, can I ask you this question? At Camp Northern Lights, when I banged into you as a kid, and I first saw the apparition of yours, were you after me then? We were originally after the priest, but to get to the priest, we go after the campers. Why would you do that? Why should little innocent children suffer? Because of you demons, or because of you identities that like to haunt, that never made it to heaven. It's because we never had a soul. We did what you did. We had nothing but hate as kids. We couldn't get along with nobody. You do know that, Hunters, that it's too late to forgive. You're dead. We know. So you're suffering in pain. Yes. How much pain are you suffering? We have to deal with our guilt that we died of, that we died with, and all the hate took us to hell. Oh no. So you get even with a simple priest. Yes, that priest was not right to his belief. I always thought he was. No, he wasn't. Any priest or minister that can tell little kids ghost stories or horror ghost stories is not right before God. It's an abomination. It is opening a door to bringing us devils through. Means it leads his soul right to the devil. Gypsy, you almost went the same way. You almost came with us and could still come with us. So, if my mother is with you, does she have anything to say? She's with us. She felt everybody hated her and abandoned her. Oh, I never abandoned her. I always called her. I tried to get down to her. I couldn't. So why, after all these years, why would you come searching for me? Why wouldn't you guys leave me alone? You're dead, you're ghosts. I was a kid, I was 10 years of age. It was summer camp. But you did not go to a Christian camp. You thought you went to a Christian camp. The priest that ran that camp was, and today, is playing Christian, but he is not a Christian. Well, if he's not, what is he? I don't believe in putting anybody down like that. He is actually he's part of a devil worship movement called the Occult and a Wiccan Square. Okay, Hunters, you're talking almost Freemason here. They declare to be Christian. So they say. But there is things to old traditions that Christians do not support. Why would you say that, Hunters? Because Halloween, for years, before it was taken over by paganist rituals or Celtic rituals, was a Christian holiday. Yes, but when they believed in burning witches, that changed everything. Or tried to do away with all off devils, or they created their own devils, they created their own demons, they created us. They started a cult. Hunters, do you know when this cabin will go back to sleep? I mean, there's other people now living in this cabin that is no threat to you. I might have been at one time when I was a kid because I was scared of you. Because you frightened me as a kid. Well, you were a threat to us. Because once a horror story is told, it is released. What do you mean by released? So a priest told a horror story. No, he told a true story that really happened. Hunters, I have another question. Sleepy Hollow is just as bad as your story. And it really happened. So did ours. Ours was told. But Sleepy Hollows was told too. How come Sleepy Hollows made Hollywood? You didn't. Washington Irving was smart. He published books. He published it in books. He talked about it. He warned generations and generations of it. That this stuff, that you guys are real. And it happened at one time. And in this generation, it became a form of education. What happened with your story? It didn't make the books. No artist wrote about it. No artist put it in a book and never made the movies. Amityville was a real story. It made the books. It made all the headlines. You didn't. Yours was kept quiet for thousands of years, and was never told. Do you want, hunters, do you want your stories told now? Yes. Why would you want it told now? Sleepy Hollows is just as old as you, and you were out before. Your story was told for thousands of years before Sleepy Hollow was even told. It's because people didn't believe we even existed. Oh, there's something else moving. Something else moving in here. I just seen a shadow. So there's no stopping you hunters from coming in Halloween night? No. Are you gonna hunters? Are you gonna harm anybody in this cabin, knowing it is your cabin? We could. Okay. Tell me what I need to do, hunters. You need to stop the party. Why? It's Wiarton. We party. We go to karaoke. We like to have a few social times. What's so special about your cabin that we can't throw a party? Because it brings us out. It causes hauntings to continue because we are the heart of the cabin, of all hunters' cabin. Every hunter's cabin from Bob Cajun, Halliburton, and Wired way up through the Bruce Peninsula. We have a cabin on Manitoulin Island. We have a cabin in Wiarton. Yeah, I know you have a cabin in Wiarton. I'm in your cabin in Wiarton. So, I'm now 36 hunters, going on 37. I've survived this long. Why did you let me survive at Camp Northern Lights when you could have snatched me? When you snatched half the other campers? Out of all the campers that went missing, how come I didn't go missing? How come I was the one that got to live? Because you were too stronger than we were. Like we said, you were surrounded by priests. But you said you didn't like the head priest that told the story. No, we didn't like Bill Maloney. He was not a real priest. He was Knights of Columbus. They're all real priests. Anything that is a Masonic movement and violates the Christian belief is a devil cult. I never thought that. Hey, hunters, my grandfather was a Freemason. I resent that one. Why would you cut them down? Nowadays they're not like they were in your time. What did they do in your time? They started war, hate, and negativity. There was no love. There was nothing but racism. Hunters, before we close out, and I leave you alone for tonight, I still like to know why you haunt me, and how my mother ended up with you. When a lot of my family believes she went to heaven. No, she didn't. She didn't believe in God. She wouldn't go to church. Well, what's any concern to you? You guys don't believe in God. You guys didn't go to church. according to your story. You killed each other. You chopped each other's head off. So, how come you guys get away with a lot of negativity? I know you're just spirits, but all these years, why come searching for me? How come you didn't go searching for the bullies that used to bully me at camp? Why did you torture me all the time? You kept me up all night. I kept all the counselors up. I actually seen you. It's because you can see us. They can't. How is it I can see you? It's because most kids that age don't believe we exist. To them, it's just a story. When our story was told, it was told on reality. It really happened. And as a child, you're the only one that could have actually seen that. You got our attention. That's why we're so attached to you. Why would you be attached to me? I mean, what, you guys gay or something? not that I'm not against anybody like that, you know, or dead people that were like that. No. You understand the spirituality world. You're not religious. There's a difference between being religious, being good, being Christianity, but also there's also a difference being just spiritual. You are just a spiritual person. You can see us because we allow you to see us. You believe the story was real. You brought us to life. Back to life. So, how would your story ever be written? I forgot the whole entire story when I heard it. How would that ever end up in a book? How would that look on a movie script today? How would your characteristic come out in a horror costume when nobody ever knows what you look like or what you used to look like? Only thing you have to remember, we were young kids at the time. We went off into the woods. We left. We used to do what you used to do. We used to party. We used to party in the city. We left the city. We went into the woods. We built a cabin. We did the same thing you did. We sat there and we drank. But it led into a different thing. What thing did it lead into? Wait. How it was told to us campers. There was two twins. You two twins. One came home, was drunk, and thought he was grabbing a broom to swipe you with, but he grabbed a double-edged axe and he chopped your head off. He took your head and killed you, and then buried your body, burned your head, and buried your body in the dark woods, Hunter's Cabin Woods, where the cabin was built. Then you came back in the middle of the night as an apparition of as identity, and you swat at your brother, picked up the axe and swat at your brother and took his head. And ever since then, you've been tormenting campers, you've been tormenting tourists, you've been tormenting vacationers for 1,050 years. It's true. Okay, I don't have. I guess I can't stop you hunters from coming in, right? Are you gonna back away from Hunter's cabin, or are you gonna continue to come in? We're halfway there. We can't turn back. Why can't you turn back? You're coming through the woods. How many locations did you guys build? We built 3 locations in Canada. We built Bob Cage and Halliburton. That sits on the property of Camp Northern Lights. On that lake, we built Wyerton and Manitoulin Island. Okay. So I guess there's no stopping your aberrations from coming in. You guys are gonna come in no matter what, right? Yes. So I'm gonna ask the question again. Are you headless hunters gonna be harmless to us at all? Is there anything we have to do to avoid you? No, you can't avoid us. We're coming in. Halloween. Your Halloween countdown has begun. We are coming in. We are trotting in. The horse footprints that you hear is us coming through the dark woods. Down by the water plantation. We're coming down that road. You do know that with technologies today, hunters, we have a ghost tracking team. With technology that can exploit you of your existence. You do understand this. We can prove you exist. That you've been that your ghosts still roam. You do know that people and houses can be exorcised. Means you can be chased off. If we went to an actual, to what you call an actual true, not a phony, a true priest, your existence will be no more. You know this, hunters. We know. Why would you still continue to haunt? I just asked, I always have to ask that question. I mean, you have it out for me since I was 10. And you stated your reasons. Like, I'm married now to a native person. And what you guys would have been if you had lived a good life. Yes, we know. You've been haunting me since I was a 10-year-old boy. What, you thought maybe I might have had kids and you'd haunt them too? If I had them, I would have stopped you, hunters. They weren't around when I was a kid at Camp Northern Lights. They weren't there just like none of us 10-year-old kids told this story. The story didn't come from us. Like you said, it came from the priest. Why would you not take your anger and negativity out on the Catholic priest that told your story? That exploited you for years. Because the priest bought
He could have tore it down. I heard he sold your cabin. I heard he sold one of your cabins. Is he your landlord today? No, he's not. Sorry. Not for the Byerton area. Sorry. You've got a corporation you gotta go through. And they're not easy. And they don't believe in you. You do know that Halloween is now, even on top of being a spiritual night, you do know that Halloween is now supposed to be a fun night. For kids like us kids you tormented for years at summer camp. Did you hunters ever think that there would be one child that was affected by your story? Yes. That's what we wanted. And why would you want that? Man, like, counselors couldn't handle me. We see you grew out of it. The nightmare end of it. Yeah, I did grow out of the nightmare end of it. I overcame that because I got stronger in that point. I went for professional help for that nightmare. Because at that time, this stuff about you guys weren't not real, about you guys ever coming back. Or, ghost sightings or close encounters were not real. Even today, a lot of people don't believe you even exist. How come you allowed me all these years to see you? Why did you reveal yourself to me? Like I said, you tortured. We went home. We left camp. We ended up going home with a half-empty bus than we started for, going to camp. Because campers ran off into the woods to go looking for your cabin. I ran off into the woods looking for your cabin. I found your cabin. I was scared. I ran away from your cabin. I went back to my tent. And then you hunters followed me into the woods. You headless hunters, I came face to face with your horse. You guys showed up in those woods. You tormented me in that tent. And I seen other campers all of a sudden disappearing. I was the only one down to it left in that tent. It scared me so much. There was not a single. I tried yelling out for a counselor. No counselor showed up. And when one did show up, you disappeared. When the counselors tried looking for you. How come the counselors didn't see you? But you allowed me to see you. But you didn't allow the counselors to see you. Because you're special. Why am I special? So what, you can cut my head off? Is that what you guys wanted in those Camp on Lights woods? Were you afraid the priest was going to do something to me? Yes. Okay, what would the priest would have done to me? Did Father Bill Maloney upset you in any way? Or disturb you guys by telling that story? Yes. I have to be honest with you guys. You guys had a very nasty story. I have to admit that was scary. I went home. I'm surprised right now I'm not wetting my jockeys. I did that when I was 10. I couldn't sleep. I went home after that camp. And you guys followed me in my dreams. I felt you guys were still haunting me. We were. We followed you. Like we followed you all these years to Wyerton. We followed you to Brockville. We followed you to Guelph. We followed you to Cambridge. We followed you everywhere you went. Your whole life. Also, too, you said my mom was with you. Why should it matter because she was not a church-going person? Even though she was cremated. Why would you allow her to bring her back spiritually? How do you guys in the spiritual world actually contact yourselves? We have our ways. You do know that I had 2 uncles that I went to, right? Yes, they're with us too. Oh, they're non-church people too. But I never hear from them. I never see their ghosts. I never hear their spirits. I hear you two and her. Can I ask you, is she still upset with Fran? And why? Has she ever forgiven Fran before she died? No. There was issues. What do you mean by issues? They were getting along at the end. Why would this hate still go on? Because something I felt bad for when I was a kid? I made peace with her way before this happened. I telephoned her. After I moved out here, I telephoned her. I apologized to her. We made peace. Fran made peace with her. Why are you horsemen still trying to carry this hate? It's because what we do. We've been wanting you for years. Well, I'm surviving. I'm hoping to survive. I'm still young enough. You know, I got a life ahead of me. Why haunt me? I think Horseman, I think it's time you guys it's time you give up on me. I'm not 10 anymore. I've got a life. I mean, yeah, your story is always going to be a part of me. You know, it's a story I understand that the priest shouldn't have told. And for being an actual Catholic Christian priest, I don't think he should have been telling us kids horror stories to begin with. That's how I got introduced to actual horror movies and horror fiction. Was you guys introduced me to it. When I first heard about you headhunters, that was even before they even thought of probably before Sleepy Hollow hit the movies. Maybe they might have hit then too. Might have been the same time when they started coming out with the movies of them. But I remember it was just the book. But Hunters, I'd like to ask you, how does Sleepy Hollow fit into your story? And do you believe it is a birth off from you? Of a generation. I need to know, is it a birth off from your story of Hunter's Cabin? Because if you look at Sleepy Hollow, it's only one headless horseman that haunted the Hudson River. Hunter's Cabin was about you two twin Indian brothers that haunted the city of Kawartha Lakes and now haunting Georgian Bay. Yes. The idea came from our story. Hunter's Cabin was the first, very oldest, was the very first story that relates, that is now relating, that Sleepy Hollow is related to. Okay, how is it related? May I ask? I need to know. Because Washington Irving never talked about us Indian brothers. He tried to say that us Indian brothers, we didn't exist. Do they today? Yeah, they do today. But yours was never written down. Yours was never told. It was only told once by a Catholic priest to us kids at camp. Other than that, I went looking for it in any bookstore. I couldn't find it. It was like nobody's ever heard of you. They heard of Sleepy Hollow, but they'd never heard of Hunter's Cabin. You were never published. The movie industry doesn't even know about you. Is there things, the way your story was told at Camp Northern Lights, it was told based on a real identity Aboriginal sighting that actually existed. Means because you sold yourself to one camper, which was me. None of the other campers could see you or hear you. Guys. Can't believe you followed me all these years. I thought you would have left me alone by now. But I'm grateful that you guys ain't giving me nightmares anymore. I'm grateful for that. I got over that part. Now I can actually bring your story a little bit to life for Halloween at least. And share. I'm not sharing it in the way it was told to me. I'm sharing it differently. It's now becoming my story. Because nobody ever wrote about you. I can't even spell my own name, let alone write a book. But if I would publish your story. I would write your story and publish it. But I don't want to I don't want to cross bridges with Sleepy Hollow. Because with you two Headless Hunters, you've been around a lot. Hunter's Cabin has been around a lot longer than Sleepy Hollow ever has, way before the tale of Sleepy Hollow. And nobody knew about it. So do you think the Sleepy Hollow took your story? Yes. Why would you think that, Hunters? Do you believe it was a twist? Is that what you're upset about? You were upset that because I seen you at camp, I go mention this. I would mention that I was affected by Hunter's Cabin story, and it was real to me. Yes. So technically, you opened a door. You're not realizing another story was told about you. But differently. But it was a different story that happened in the States that happened on the Hudson River. The Canadian story of Hunter's Cabin was never ever told, but only by that one priest. He never had any paper in front of him. He never wrote things down. He never wrote a book about it. He told the story for the very first time to us 10-year-old kids and every generation of kids that went to that camp. Today he still runs the camp, but he doesn't tell the story anymore. Because you guys started haunting the camp, you haunted me. And because of that, that story was never ever told again. I never made the books. I never made Hollywood fiction. And even if it did, would you think it would be twisted? Or would you think it'd be told? Would your real story be told? It'd be twisted. Aha! Talking to a headless hunter ghost that didn't even have TVs back those days. Probably, let alone you guys never had a hydro. You lived in the dark ages those days. Yes. So I'm gonna ask you again. We've been hearing your horses trotting your way into this party, this Hunter's Cabin party that's coming up on Halloween. Are you still going to continue to haunt us, and why? Yes. Because we still want you, Gypsy. Well, guess what? Haha, you ain't going to get me. Because I have I am connected to actual, real, true, believing, spiritual people that will end yous. Sorry to say that. You will be yes, your story will carry on from generation to generation, but there are what you call spiritual warriors that will take you out. You do know this. As much as, I respect your story, everything that was told, it's, we want to be able to tell a story without you guys ever haunting us ever again. Like, we would love to have, we would love to keep your Hunter's Cabin going for tourists for generations to generations, and your story always be told in horror movie, fiction, whatever. We want your story. We don't want yours anymore. We don't want the hauntings anymore. We don't want all this aberration anymore. We don't want things happening. It's time. I guess it's time you guys are exercised. I hate to say it. Are you hunters afraid of exorcism? Yes. Aha! So you tough head takers are actually afraid of something. Yes. Ah, okay. Now we know your weak spots. But I guess for this Halloween, you're still gonna hunt. You're gonna continue to make your way into Hunter's Cabin. You're gonna try to take back the cabin, right? Yes. Yes, you guys are. So, hunters. Oh, you know what? I don't know what to say. It's like I told you in the beginning. I'm not 10 anymore. I'm not scared of you anymore. Spiritually, I'm coming directly to you guys. You guys have been following me since I was 10. Whatever happened at Camp Northern Lights, those days are over. I still know I can't forget you guys. Your story's been part of me for years. I don't have the nightmares anymore. I don't have the night tremors anymore. That's the good part of it. But I do know your hauntings are real. I do know, even if my mother is spiritually with you, I do not know why she should have went the other way. Can you tell me why she didn't go the other way? She didn't pray for her salvation. Ah, okay. Well, you know what? I don't get into that department. At all, ever. Not with any devil, not with any demons, not with any ghosts. Just to let you hunters know that. And another thing is I actually have united with my father, and my father used to be a minister. And he is actually not gonna be coming with you guys. Ever. He's going the right way. And I don't want him to see him go the way my mother went with yours. Maybe that was a choice she made. Maybe she made mistakes. But, you know, it's you guys are gonna, all three of you, apparently now I can say, is still gonna haunt me until probably forever, right? Yes. So when are you guys gonna return to Camp Northern Lights? Can I ask you that? If a new priest was to take over Camp Northern Lights, would you guys leave? Would you guys stop haunting the place? Just like would you guys stop haunting here at this cabin? If this new priest that took over that old camp did things right now, would you stop the hauntings? I need an answer. No. Oh. Man, what do I have to do to reason with these idiots? And they're headless. You do know that, I put up dummies, eh? They're made out of vacuum cleaners. We didn't have those in our day. Ah. Yeah, well, guess what? We have them in our day. So, you guys are out of luck. But I need a definite answer. You're Aboriginal headhunters. Aboriginal headhunters. I am not against your culture. I have friends here that are living. They've got families that are the same culture as you were, and they're doing things a lot different than you are. They actually get along, and in this decade, they accept people for them being different, or no matter what race they are, what color they are. I mean, your days are done with. That was 100 years ago. My camp days, when I was 10 in the 90s, when your story was first told, it was not told to haunt people, but you chose to haunt me. Why? Is it because I was young, I was naive? I believed anything. You could tell me the sky was pink and I believe you? Then yes. And I ask you, there was a camper that also committed suicide. Were you headhunters part of that? Yes. Oh. You do know I was not a counselor. I was just a camper. And I was best friend with the kids, and the kid disappeared. We couldn't find him. We went looking. His parents went looking. They didn't believe you guys exist until a year later. Until a ghost tracking team pulled onto the camp premises and they shut the camp down for a year. 2 years later, and then 3 years later, I went back to the same camp and you continued to haunt me. They found out you guys were true. You guys were real. Because then you revealed yourself to other campers, right? Then? Yes. Why would you do that 3 years later after you revealed yourself to me? You did the same thing to them. So you guys made yourself known. You realize that you headhunters, your images were caught in pictures. Your images were caught, just like they do with aliens, were caught on tape. So please, I ask, spiritually, I can understand why you're haunting me, because you got a beef with me, and you did since I was 10 years of age. for probably personal reasons. I don't think it was because of the story that was told. I think your more beef would have been with Father Bill Maloney. But again, why would you make yourself known that even my wife can hear you, has heard you at night? Another lad, a friend of mine, here, has heard you. And he never went to this camp I went to. That we ran into each other. He doesn't know about you. But this generation, they're starting to know about you. Because you hunters revealed yourself to them. They heard you. Because you're making your way to this cabin now. You're taking over this hunter's cabin. You're haunting this cabin. So if your beef is with me, it's with me. It is not with my friends here. It is not with my wife. And it is definitely not with my family. So, are you still planning on haunting this place? Yes. And we will not stop as long as you're still alive and living. We will haunt you for years. We will follow you for years. Ooh, okay, this is getting scary now. That probably explains why I was smart enough, and I'm grateful that my wife can't have any more kids, and I'm very grateful that even if I did, I would not send them to Camp Northern Lights, ever. Because that's your main haunting ground. And now, all of a sudden, you followed me this way. How did you track me down? You guys are dead. You don't even have internet. You guys have Wi-Fi in hell? They got it everywhere else. Don't answer. Hunters, don't answer yes or no to that one. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. I should not have asked that question. That's one question I should not have asked. Obviously, we know there's an internet connection everywhere. I'm out of questions. Unless anybody else has any questions they want to add, feel free to. I need to, these hunters got to leave me alone. Like I said, they've been haunting me everywhere I go. They've been haunting their hunter's cabin everywhere. I'm very grateful that I don't have the nightmares anymore, that I can face these things. At one time when I was 10, I could not ever speak to these. I didn't know how to openly speak to these things. But these demons, but that they're actually existing. I am so sorry that one of them has to be my deceased mother, but like I said, she wants to, even in her death, she's kind of carried a hate. It's I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna always be haunted, but it's something I'm gonna have to deal with, right, hunters? I'm gonna have to deal with you idiots. Sorry, if I slipped with the other word, but I can say idiots. Basically, I have to deal with you idiots now, all the time. Lifeline, that, yes. Okay. That's that's fine by me, because I know, as long as this story, like I said, hunters, as long as your story is going to be told, one day photographs of you guys, okay? If there is any photographs that were taken on the Camp Northern Lights premises by any ghost trackers, whatever, have caught in any image on tape of you guys, shadows, anything, we'll probably release and end up in Hollywood hands. It means actors are going to react, like live living actors are going to react your characteristics out. They're going to tell your story. They're going to tell the tale of Hunter's Cabin. You know, it's going to be, all of a sudden, it's going to be recorded to a book. It's going to be recorded to, that you once did exist, that it is, that your story is a real story, that you guys really exist, and you did what you did. You know, that's all going to go. Like, there's a lot of stories that go around about me. And I'm still here. But I don't care. I don't care what the stories that go around about me. I just laugh at them. I think half these people are on crack. But, you know, so, sorry, Hunters to say, but Hunter's Cabin here is going to throw a party. No, I'm going to say right now, you can haunt us all you like, even when the cabin's asleep. You know, you can freak me out all you like. You know, you've been doing it all along for years. But I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be true. It's gonna be a lot different because this generation of drinkers were not as bad as you guys were in your generation. They at least here they don't cut heads off. In your generation, they might have, probably because there was no laws against them. But now, you know, people get drunk. People have like a wonderful party or, you know, a sociable party and that. They don't go around cutting heads off like you two twins did. You know? And they, oh gee, are they gonna become a legend like you guys? Yes. Oh, okay. So, what did I ever, can I, Hunters, I like to ask, what did I ever do to you? Like I said, I was a 10-year-old kid. I was tormented by you. Did my screaming attract you? Yes. Oh, okay. And Hunters, Headhunters, I'm sorry if my screaming at a 10-year-old kid level or 9-year-old kid, at that time brought you out, attracted or disturbed you, because we knew the cabin was real, but we didn't think you were still real. We didn't think that, you know, your apparitions were haunting that camp. We didn't know that. And but as a 10-year-old kid, how many 10-year-old and 9-year-old kids don't scream at summer camp? I've not ever known a kid at that age would you know, having a good time or be told or all of a sudden be told a stupid horror story like that about your horror story and not ever scream or cry about it. Like, I was a kid. Also, according to your story too, there was apparently you could hear thumping at the doors. You felt vibrations on desks. That's how they knew your ghosts were around. That's how I knew. One time, I remember the time I tried getting a counselor. I couldn't get a single counselor. There was not a single counselor around. The camp was deserted. The counselors disappeared. Did you Hunters take and tie up the counselors? Yes. That explains why. And all the kids started going. All the kids started disappearing, and I was the only camper left. Did you headhunters do that on purpose? Yes. So you headhunters were intention to abduct me as a little kid? Yes. But it didn't work. No. Because you got too friendly with the priest that told our story. There was no friendly business going on. We were friends. But, you know, he have to grant, he might not have been a real, like, according to you demons, he probably was not a real priest. And he probably wasn't doing things right. But you know what? He had a lot of wisdom. He had a lot of smarts. He knew that you headhunters were in the wrong of haunting the place. I know it's your territory to do whatever you want, but see, a camp was built. A camp was built on those premises. And whatever brought you back? This is the question we've been asking for years, even at 10 years of age at Camp Northern Lights. What actually brought you hunters back that brought your apparitions back? So for you to haunt us? Was there some type of cult ritual that went on there? Before this priest told the story about 100 years ago when you hunters were living? Was there some type of religious cult ritual or devil cult ritual that went on those grounds or premises? Do you feel free? Do you feel you want to answer those? Yes. Oh, okay. What went on? A lot of voodoo. Ah. Oh. So it was not always a Christian camp. No. Oh. Okay. Well, this live stream is actually kind of come to an end right now because it's not Halloween yet, and I do know you guys are on. I guess you ghosts are on your way in. I cannot stop you. You ghosts do whatever you want whenever you want. Like I said, you've been haunting me from when I was 10 years of age. But before we go, if you're haunting me, you're haunting me. You must have your reasons. But anybody else close to me, I want you to leave them alone. Can you do that? Yes. Thank you. And if my deceased mother, like you said, is with you, and if she still has problems with my wife, now she's even though she's passed on, she's dead, if she's still got that guilt and hate, I can understand if she's haunting me because of things I did when I was a kid. I'm willing to live with that. But don't haunt my wife. That she needs to be left alone. Can you guys do that? Hunters, I'm asking, can you please answer this? Because I know you guys are not that. I know you headhunters are not that far down the hunter's cabin road and trail. Because I've been hearing your hoof prints are coming. Yes. Thank you. I'm out of questions. I can't. I'm not gonna bother these apparitions anymore. I was never bothering to begin with. They came to me as a kid, as a camper. They would not leave me alone as a kid. All these years, I'm surprised the spirits were actually willing to talk. Most times they won't. If I might have actually slipped with a few on actual swear words, I do apologize for that. Like this is I wanted to find out why these things are haunting me still. As far as the nightmares end of it, when like I said, I was a kid, I did outgrow those. But since now I've been able to hear these things come down the road. I know they're in the area. They are ghosts. They are dead. They are apparitions, close encounters. I have had a close encounter with these things before as a 10-year-old kid. I'm very grateful and thankful these apparitions didn't take me as a kid, but basically all they're gonna do now is they're coming into the hunters' cabins to haunt. That's all they seem to kind of. Well, our countdowns kind of continue to Halloween. Our party, we kind of continue to have our Halloween party, if these aberrations like it or not. They're not going to be harmful to me anymore, as they would have been as a 10-year-old kid. When I was a 10-year-old kid, if you guys are still listening, you guys are not going to harm me, right? You Headless Hunters are not going to harm me? No. Thank you. I got your word on that. But they did admit they are kind of continue to haunt me. I don't know, I made some mistakes when I was a kid, but it was a bad time too when I was at summer camp, and a story was told at that time that should not have been told, especially by like this type of thing when these stories are told to your 10-year-old kids as a Catholic priest tells your 10-year-old kids these stories at summer camp. I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens. I mean, it causes spiritual activity, and especially if it's coming from a Catholic priest. I'm not a Catholic priest, it's but I'm a spiritual person, but I've been able been able to face my fears and face my headless fears. If this story is ever told again, it should be read. I think personally now it should be written down. People do believe if you're following what you call Nightmare on Elm Street. If you follow the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, those are movies. I think the Hunter's Cabin story should originally be written down on paper. Hasn't been. Now I understand why it hasn't been. Why it was never made into a movie or reenacted out. And that ghosts, aberrations do exist. I came in close encounter with these things, like I said, when I was 10 years of age. It's a story that is ready to be told. I think Hunter's Cabin would have been. Hunter's Cabin is a lot of. Just so people know, Hunter's Cabin is a different type of story than that is what Sleepy Hollow was. Sleepy Hollow is the same idea, but it was a Washington Irving story. With Hunter's Cabin, there was not really no artist behind that story because you could not find it in any book, and nobody for years couldn't understand why it was not published. I don't know if it ever did get published. Maybe somebody wrote it down somewhere and probably didn't, for some reason, didn't get accepted. But I can understand why it probably wouldn't have gotten accepted than it would today. I personally think if there's any Hollywood people, directors, I think Hunter's Cabin is a story for you to tell, reenact like you did Sleepy Hollow. But Hunter's Cabin is a very historical horror story. It is. If you have any questions about Hunter's Cabin, you can always talk to me. It's a story that was told to me as a kid, and that. But I actually did have actual nightmares from this story. But I'm grateful today. I don't have those problems anymore. I have those nightmares anymore. And this Halloween, I thought it was good coming up for the countdown. I think it would have been neat to finally tell a story that's never ever properly been told, and it takes the right people to tell it, and anybody who is way beyond spiritual, that is in a priesthood or is a Christian minister, I don't think this is an appropriate story for them to be telling. because it will harm their Christian walk. It will harm their life with Christ. I can honestly say that. But I think it is a story that I think Hollywood directors will pick up on, and if they're interested in it, and could actually create another horror story out of it, like they did Sleepy Hollow. But like I said, Hunter's Cabin is way different from Sleepy Hollow. It is more horror graphical. It is Hunter's Cabin is an actual true story. To let you know, it really did happen. It was fortunately, a lot of people don't always want to let on it never happened, but it really happened at one point. And I hope everybody still enjoys these Jokers on Duties. The Halloween night, like I said, we're going to party if these apparitions like it or not. These horsemen are still going to make their way in to Hunter's Cabin. They're not giving up. They're still coming in to haunt, but they did say they were not going to harm any of us. So I am so glad that they're willing not to harm us at all, to harm the party. But they are going to haunt. Their haunting is going to go on in the midst of the night after the cabin goes to sleep, and it's quiet Devil's Night, and night before Halloween, and then Halloween when the cabin dies down for the night. That's when the haunting's going to happen. And they're admitting that there is not going to be no Ichabod, and they're not going to chase me down the Hunter's Cabin trail, or down the Hunter Cabin dirt road by the water plantation. I'm going to be just so smart enough not to go out, because I do know now that I'm pre-warned that these apparitions are making their way to Hunter's Cabin. And like I said, like they said, there is 3 Hunter's Cabins that have been built in Canada. There is a Hunter's Cabin on Manaloon Island. There is a Hunter's Cabin in Haliburton, Bobcaygeon area, and Wyerton. And these ghosts are making their way, like it or not, and they're not turning back. And like I said, they are willing. They gave their word. They are not gonna harm. They are gonna haunt me, yes, because they have a beef with me. There's I don't know how I upsetted them as a child today. Why they would follow me all these years, but they're willing that they're gonna leave my wife alone. They're gonna leave my friends alone. But after the party dies down, even if there's a bit of social party after it dies down at night, they are gonna haunt the cabin. There's no word about that. There may be a little bit of voice. You might hear strong voices, that kind of thing, or a couple with the lights will probably automatically flicker, and that. But with technology today, at one time we couldn't do anything about these things. Like when I first had counteracting with these headless huntsmen, Indian twin huntsmen. They didn't have ghost tracking. Well, they might have had the teams, but they didn't have the equipment. So until 2 years after, I went back to the camp, and I came in close encounter with them again. And after I left the camp officially and stopped camping there, they went in with their technology, and they discovered that these things were there, so that it was not safe. But they did give their word that they're only going to haunt me, but they're admitting there is not going to be no heads coming off. I am so grateful for that. They're gonna beef with me, but spiritually, they're not gonna beef with my wife or that. But they're beef, and and apparently my deceased mother, even though she still died with a beef against my wife, as a spirit, she's going to be beefing with me with these other two. Spiritually, so they're gonna keep haunting me, and it's something I'm gonna be living with for the rest of my life. But nobody has to worry, because my childhood nightmares, I don't have those anymore. I can sit back and I can laugh at these things. I can put up with these things. I can tolerate these things, just like I can tolerate. To me, it's just like sitting watching a horror movie. I can tolerate them. Like, I mean, that's all I do. Like, I know that they are there, even though I do have a few. Even though I did show you that I did make up dummies, but also in the room tonight, these horsemen are real. Their voices are, are real. There is a real counteraction with them. The one female's voice that you did hear in the background, okay, was my deceased mother. Apparently, that what's made me jump. I was shocked because I thought I came in close encounter with these horsemen that I came in encounter with a long time ago. Those are the ones I was basically focusing on. And then when I heard my mother's voice, that's what. Sorry if I do apologize if I slipped with the tongue a bit. Like, that made me totally jump. And, I mean, that was loud and clear. And, so, these ghosts are, right now, are kind of, like, I mean, the real ghosts of it, besides my dummies, like, they're just Halloween decorations. But there are, apparently there's real ghosts coming through in here, spirits, identities, whatever you want to call them. That's beefing with me, they've been beefing with me since I was, my mother's just starting to beef with me now, since now she's all high and passed on, all, hungo demon ghost. And that. And these headhunters, they've been stalking me, and they've been haunting me since I was a little kid. And like I said, those guys, I'm kind of those spirits I'm dealing that I can now face to face my fears and actually deal with them. Like, I couldn't do this before when I was 10 years of age. This I was too shut up, and I was too shut up under the blankets. I wouldn't even step outside of a tent. I wouldn't even step outside of a building. I wouldn't even go near anybody. But today I'm dealing with it totally different. Since I haven't understand why they've been haunting me all these years, and why they're still following me all these years. Sorry for putting a I know that, so I just wish everybody a good and safe night. And these ghosts are still going to continue to haunt me right through to Halloween. Like I said, they're beefing with me just because of a stupid story that was told. Well, I can't really say it's stupid because I'm a horror fanatic now. I love my horror movies, but I can handle them. Back those days, I couldn't sit down and watch a horror movie after running into these things. I have to grant, I was able to actually speak to them clearly this time. But when I was a 10-year-old kid, I couldn't do that. That I should have done a long time ago. And so, like I said, they are going to continue to haunt me. But like I said, as far as my childhood nightmares, they've not come back to me. I'm not going to be waking up in the middle of the night with nightmares and that kind of thing. I'll be waking up dealing with these hauntings and speaking out to them like I should have done a long time ago. And if it comes down to it, I am going to contact an actual Ghost Trackers team to come through here and to actually deal with the real apparitions. Like, that's what I said. There is a lot to Halloween. There is, just so people know, one time, yes, it was a Christian holiday, but over the years, there's things that went on Halloween that 100 years ago went on that kind of changed the history. Yes, it's always going to be a fun night for kids to go trick or treating. Now, that never discourage your kids from going trick or treating. Like, that's free candy night. But far as people being haunted by apparitions and that's always dealable at my end. But I'm just basically happy and glad to be here today. That's what I said. If these things had got me when I was 10 years of age, like we had a lot of campers go missing, and we couldn't figure out. We went looking for them. All the good friends went looking for them. We couldn't find any of them. I mean, it's apparently the truth has come out. Apparently the priest that told me this story. Apparently there's spiritual things that come out about them, and I've heard it from these apparitions, and. You know, like I said, spirits know everything. They see everything. You know, it's like they always say. You can't, when it comes down to spiritual people that have been dead for years, spirits that have been dead for years. You know, they see everything. They know more about the person. So, you know, and it was a good story. It was a good horror story, but like I said, I think because of the fact that because it came from a priest, I think it opened some doors when I was a child in my life that certain apparitions made I made contact with some of these spirits, and that. So I just wish everybody a good night. And I'll flip the camera back. And I still hope... Oh, I better turn the light on. I still hope that you all still enjoy tuning into Jokers on Duty. I really am not going to say tonight this was your Jokers on Duty, because some of these, like I said, there was a real apparition in this place, and that kind of thing. And then, you know... And that, so like I said, the horsemen, they are going to continue to come into the cabin, and they're not turning back. They're dead. Their spirits are going to do whatever they want. But I'm just grateful they're just going to haunt me, and like I said, I can deal with them. That's not an issue. I should have dealt with them when I was 10. But I'm always going to say, have a good night. And like I said, every night at 8, don't forget MFers. Because that can help you a lot through different situations. And I wish Michael Klotz a good night. Peace, love, and positivity. Have a great night.